Yeah, dude. I'm disappointed that Maximum Level Herb couldn't make this game.
Maybe he's just making a late appearance. He's
It's true. He could show up in the next game.
sometimes here's some fun facts. The KT rolls their bullets. On some games, Insect would actually just sit out of the game and let the sub play because he just wanted to preside and watch.
Are you kidding me?
No.
What? That is... If there was an award for BM, that's it. That's as BM as it gets.
So, maybe Max Level Herb is really Insect. And
maybe.
he's flying back from Korea right now.
Right now.
Because they just had a game. And they did win those games, so...
So, I will also note that I believe in 7 minutes, 38 seconds, when we don't hit go, the game itself will cease to exist. Is that right?
Yeah, League of Legends will no longer be a game, and we will have to switch to Infinite Crisis. Or,
oh, gosh, no one wants that.
I don't know, do we have enough Strife keys?
Strife sucks, dude. I played Strife. I hate it, okay? I hate Strife. It's bad. I suck at it. Everyone on my team sucks. Everyone on their team is, like, good. I don't know. I hate it. I'm not playing it. Oh, we're into Champ Select. I am absolutely shocked that we made it this far. We're down to 19 viewers. 18 viewers. Wow, they do not like us. They are... Wow. This is awkward.
Maybe it's just some of the players just watching the stream and, out of respect, leaving the stream just so they can focus on this Champion Select here.
Good. Good on them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So right away, we got the Nidalee, and as we mentioned before, the Kassadin ban targeted towards GG Cronk.
That is a solid ban. Kassadin, if played well, is one of the strongest mid laners. For his roam potential, his burst post-6, and his silence is absolutely devastating.
Yeah, and, he's just one of those champions where, you can go off to a slow start, but if you get to the late game, he will just punish, and he will just go rampant all over you.
Interesting Caitlyn ban. It looks like they're banning out all long-range poke comps, or champions, I should say, which is kind of interesting. Caitlyn is not a priority ban in most games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true. But it might be, they're not so used to with Bossy, who might be the AD carry for this game. So they maybe want to, get him off his comfort champion. Maybe see test the waters here, and a Lulu ban coming out.
Ah, well, no one wants to play against Lulu mid lane, I can tell you that right now.
3 possible mid lane bans.
Woo! Man, they are beating on GG Cronk.
And there it is. Insta-lock Vi ban for, or Vi pick, sorry, for Raiden Wing.
That makes sense. His playstyle is completely bananas. Raiden Wing often separates himself from reality when selecting where to gank and when to gank. So I can see how this pick is very strong for him.
Yeah, so immediately on the other side we actually have a Wukong and a Thresh pick, which are, in my opinion, incredibly strong picks. Wukong getting a lot of popularity recently with the damage buffs and the Spirit Stone buffs. So that's Cyclone.
Yeah, his ganks at 6 are absolutely devastating. He's got the ability to sneak in undetected and do some real damage and gap close effectively, as well as CC them. Yeah. Ooh, the Draven pick. It's not like we didn't expect Draven to come out over for Raiden Wing's team.
Well, I know Dr. Cox is a very big Draven player, but...
I mean, Dr. Cox is no moist schlong, but he certainly tries.
Yeah. It's very hard to get to the level. I find it actually interesting to pick Leona, because a very good Thresh player can actually flay away a Zenith Blade from Leona, kind of almost stopping the engage, but...
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It may not completely stop the fight.
If this man plays Corki, I will break down in tears right now on stream. I'll do it.
Well, he's hovering over that Corki right now, and looks, with that Cho'Gath, it might look to be kind of a ragtag team here.
Oh, please, Corki, please. They've got a decent AoE comp going. Oh, God, it's Corki. That's so good.
Alright, yeah, so, this purple team looking very unorthodox here with the Wukong, Thresh, Cho'Gath, and Corki here.
The thing about the team, the bot lane comp on the purple team is they have to go for broke. They have to burst them down immediately. None of this slow sort of plodding fight where Thresh misses a hook or misses a flay, they have got to be on point. If Draven has the chance to throw a couple empowered axes, it is over bot lane. Corki has no response to that. So I'm very interested to see how the bot lane play works out.
Cronk Juice hovering over Nasus and Orianna, which I'm a huge fan of, actually, because Raiden Wing, I've seen previous videos, is a big fan of those balls.
Oh,
and,
yeah, no, he's an absolute, fan of Orianna's balls. As we all are,
Yeah.
She's incredibly skilled with those. Twisted Fate being hovered over. Honestly, Kale would make a little more sense. I'm really digging the comp coming over from a Raiden Wings team. It's much more together than
It is.
Purple
It's
team.
you got a very big front line. You got Vi with the Assault and Battery instantly into the Shockwave, and you have Leona right there to be a front line, and then just got Draven and Nasus to just clean up. So it's very strong right there. It's
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I appreciate that. They're not counter-picking lanes. All too often you see people, with higher solo queue rankings attempting to just counter-pick and win early and assume they can win the game off that. That is not the case with the blue team. They are on some comfort champions, but they also understand how vitally important the mid and late game phases are. When team fighting and positioning and, proper usage of abilities come into play, and they're ready for that.
Yeah, so it looks like you can kind of see the differences here. You have Cronk Juice with a very put together team in the sense that they're very they got a comp here. They've done their research. They've picked out the champions and they'll fit best together.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, you got max level Herb with their very last minute sub that they've never played with, and their team kind of looks like it. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do here.
So, Raiden Wing's refusal to accept forfeiture might come back to devastate them should Max Level Herb have a solid first game. And then perhaps Max Level Herb shows up for the second game. That might break some hearts over there on Cronk Juice.
Yeah, well, looks like they're both confident in themselves. Max Level Herb presiding in his throne, and Raiden Wing refusing to accept surrender. So this will be good. I mean,
That's
not
cold
quite a
blooded.
Max Level Herb, but a Platinum 80 carry is not bad.
No, that's not bad. Certainly not bad. I've experienced. I mean, for example, Steven Jackson, solo queue ranking right now is Silver 3. I would put him nowhere near Silver 3 as far as skill set is concerned. So, often the solo queue rank is not the most accurate indicator of where a player's at. But once you get, upper platinum, it can be assumed that you're not, certainly not silver tier caliber player. And, so early in the season, it's hard to kind of judge based on solo queue rank. So, yeah. We have over 2 minutes to burn. I would like to point everyone add to the fact that we killed like 20 minutes before this game actually started. So at this point, coming up with stuff to say is nigh on impossible.
Well, I mean, you can talk about the teams here for a little bit.
We could if we were like professional casters that were going to do a good job, Eugen.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we should probably do is switch to a Hearthstone game, or even better, watch a stream within this stream. I think that would, be on some level entertaining for those listening and watching.
Of course.
For sure. Let's talk about, we see the comps here.
Yeah.
Certainly. But let's talk about all the champions that weren't selected on this giant list in front of me that they decided to provide for me. No Darius pick. What do you think about that?
I mean, in this current meta, if you don't pick Darius, then clearly you just don't want to win games.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
with new fixes to Rabadon's Death Cap and the new Spirit Stone, how could you not pick Darius in the bot lane anymore?
It's really, really striking the lack of forethought that these teams put into the game. Aatrox also notably not selected.
You know, actually, on a serious note, Aatrox has actually been picked a bit in professional.
Really?
Yeah, when it comes to Korea and Europe, he's actually 2-0 right now.
Yuchin, your game knowledge as far as like the current meta is absolutely staggering. Every time I hear you, it's fantastic that you know exactly what's going on in any part of the world. It's really cool, dude.
Well,
I love
my
it.
job.
It's your job. It is actually your job. You're gonna provide some awesome color commentary for this game. I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah, so I'm actually really looking forward to this because, Max Level Herb is bringing out a few champions you don't see too often with the Corki and the Cho'Gath.
Oh yeah, I remember season 1. Remember season 2 when Cho'Gath was absolutely the bee's knees. Those were the days. Those were the days.
I'm only worried about here is, what Max Level Herb is going to do here in terms of damage because with a Wukong jungle, you have the option of just rushing straight damage, Brutalizer, Elder Lizard. At the same time, you also have Cho'Gath, who has the same option of just rushing damage, rushing tanks. So
exactly. No. I totally agree with that. And Nasus, let's be honest here, probably isn't going to provide a lot of damage early on Cho'Gath. Most Nasus players start real slow. They build tank first. They go for that Glacial Shroud. They farm their Q, and that will give Cho'Gath an opportunity to stack his ult as well, and just build straight damage for the first little while, and might be able to poke Nasus down with his Primal Shout or whatever that is. What's the name of that ability, Huge?
Which one?
The one where he says, "Shut up," and shoots blue out of his mouth.
I think it's his Feral Scream.
Ah, yes, Feral Scream. Who could have guessed?
Yeah, so I think what you want to really watch here in this game will be the bot lane and their interactions with the junglers.
Definitely.
Because Raiden Wing is known for, liking to gank a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, you have this Corki Thresh. And those lanterns to Wukong, he's got a lot of very early damage. So if they get a good engage right there, that'll be devastating for Draven because he does not have a very good escape.
That's true. And that's like the reason why he's not the top tier AD carry right now, is his lack of escapability. And that's not something that Corki or Thresh, for that matter, are lacking. So
yeah, but I mean, I think Cronk just did a really good job at centering their team around that. You got a lot of peel. You got that assault and battery. You got a lot of utility coming out of Leona. Nasus got that withered. He's going to be a huge meat bag in front of him, and then you got that Orianna with those slows and that shockwave.
For sure, I
plenty
think
of room for Draven just to sit in the back and just handily toss axes.
Handily toss axes.
Handily.
Handles. Interesting enough. No Kale, no Corki, no Thresh skin. I think that's a large misplay on their part. With Toboggan Corki being offered again and Red Baron Corki available, they really miss an opportunity here to show off Corki's awesome bod.
Yeah, and they even gave out a free Kale skin a while ago.
I know.
So I'm a really big fan of that Judgment Kale. Actually, it's really cool with that hood. I'm not a fan of that. For the longest time, I actually thought Kale was a guy.
Yeah, me too. And then I played her.
Yeah, exactly.
You click on her, you're like, what? Also, everyone knows Kennen is a female as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Kennen is a female. I swear to God.
Have you heard her voice? I mean, that is clearly a female voice.
Clearly a female. Absolutely. What's the deal with keys? Yuchen, okay, like, Fiddlestick has a key on his face now. I think it has something, it must represent something in, like, China, because all the Chinese skins have keys on them.
This is actually some really deep social commentary here,
Yeah.
They're Riot, as you know, they are owned by the Chinese company Tencent, and
right.
These keys are their way of representing that they want to break free from this cage that they're in, and it's a really a sad story actually. So.
No, it's really really sad in many
Tragedy.
ways. Let's see. I think we're almost on Rift. I think my cursor has turned into a pointing finger. Here we go. We are Rift.
All right, let me just rearrange these people on my screen.
Let's see. Not quick buys from either team. Doesn't look like they're going to go for a level 1 here. In fact, purple team taking their time by... Oh, we got a game pause.
Classic.
Perfect. No, we're ready. we actually didn't get a chance to really delve into, you know, some of the pregame stuff we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is a good opportunity.
So, I mean, even without max level Herb on max level Herb, NGU Hate making his debut last week has actually been making a lot of plays in that mid lane. Very impressive. He's been playing different champions every game, and he's been performing quite well every game.
Oh, for sure.
Kale, very high damage, very big chance of saving teammates is going to be really, really something to look at.
Definitely. Now, I have a question.
What's your question?
Blue team really could take advantage. I know it might be a little BM. They could really take advantage of the early disconnect and know that all 5 of them can get in position much faster than purple team can. So they could actually use this to their advantage and perhaps steal a red buff or a blue buff.
That's very true. I don't know if I really like blue team's level 1 though, in comparison to that the purple team. Purple team's got a lot of vision revealing skills, I guess. Thresh, Cho'Gath, Corki, yeah. So I mean, I feel like if they're smart about this, they can do well.
Here they're coming round the track like they're never coming back. Adventure's just ahead.
You may want to rearrange your champions on the scoreboard.
Oh, fine. Oh, how do I do this?
You know, I discovered something cool actually recently. If you push A while you're spectating, you open up the team fight thing.
Oh, see, yeah, dude, blue team's totally gonna be like ham. They're gonna take the blue buff, or they might catch Thresh out. Look at Thresh here, just hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a pretty good position to spot him out if they just do decide to try and go for something.
True. Oh, Kale's coming through. Oh, wisely deciding not to walk that direction.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the blue team wants to go for this blue buff. But actually, recently, in the current meta, a lot of teams have been opting to start on the opposite side, near the top lane for the jungle. Because by doing that, it allows the bot lane to get that early pressure and get that soft push going so they don't fall behind. And they get that level 2 earlier.
So, Leona started with Zenith Blade, and Vault Breaker is on Vi. So they definitely are looking to try to catch someone here. They're not looking to simply steal a buff.
See, I don't know if I quite like that, though, because, I mean, you haven't seen anyone yet on the purple team, so why would you start immediately with the skill?
That's a good idea. I can understand Vault Breaker on Vi. Makes sense. I can't understand Zenith Blade until you've got a position to use it.
I don't know. I see. Even with Vi, I believe, you know, E, maybe even W, or actually W should be the standard, but Q is not going to give you much in that level 1 jungle. As you can see, she's kind of struggling right now.
That's true. Let's see.
But yeah, as I mentioned before, Wukong starting the red buff, allowing the purple lane bot lane to get that early push, and it means they're probably going to hit level 2 before the blue side will. And that's going to be very, very integral, because they have that Leona.
Oh, Thresh hook comes out, they've got it. Corky Q, a little bit of damage done, not too much. The poke game begins. Standard buys bot lane, makes all kinds of sense.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a lot of pressure on both sides. You know, I'm interested.
Oh, we got a steal attempt here from Raiden Wing. Wukong comes out, does a little bit of damage, says, "Hey, that's my blue buff." Oh, Raiden Wing gets caught by a Thresh hook. Not a lot of follow-up. Corky's coming around and trying to make something happen, but so is bot lane. Not a lot going on. Real close to a lot of good things / bad things happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, Thresh was still only level 1 at the time. If he was level 2 and had that flay, and if Wukong roamed down, they might have been able to get that first blood on that Raiden. But that was still some good vision and some good roaming by Thresh to, you know, see that he was there and try and help him out.
What do you think about that really aggressive attempt by Vi? You gotta know that Wukong's gonna get there quickly. Do you really think you can take blue buff faster than he can get there?
Vi does have a very fast clear time. I think she could have done it if she hadn't started Q, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that W is very, very, very integral for jungling, because not only does it give you that attack speed buff every 3 attacks, but it also does a very large percentage of their health. So without that, you're kind of at a very big disadvantage, because that's kind of really what gives you that wave clear, because you have that attack speed, you have that percent health gone. And Wukong knows this, so he's gonna try and maybe punish this blue buff here. He's got that level advantage and that red buff.
Wukong's waiting this out. It's gonna happen though.
Here he comes.
Smite. He comes in. Clone's on in there. Rainwing sees it. He gets the stick to deface. That double buff. Wukong beats single buff Vi every second of every day. He's not gonna follow it up though, despite Kale's rotation around.
See, I really like to see something on Wukong, and that's I really think it's stronger if you with that camouflage. If you start off hitting them with your Q before your E, because with that Q hit, you actually reduce the enemy's
By coming back to Vi Smite stole his own blue buff. Well done.
Gets a free blue buff out of it. That's very nice.
That was beautiful. Wukong has to hang his head in defeat and go take his race.
Yeah. As I was saying, because with that Q, you reduce their armor by 30%, and that's what allows your big damage skill, your E, to come in. And with their armor and attack speed buff, you kind of really maximize the damage you'll do with that Wukong jungle.
This is true. It's absolutely true. As predicted, not a lot of movement happening top lane. Mostly marginal damage and farm. That's the name of the game. Top lane. Not a lot of kills probably gonna happen up there.
Yeah, Cho'Gath actually looks like he's running attack damage runes. I could be wrong. I have to check that myself, but he doesn't have much AP, so those spells aren't really going to be doing a whole lot.
GG Cronk, despite getting beaten up early, has actually managed to stay relatively close in farm, which is an accomplishment on some level.
Actually, Cho'Gath's running a complete tank page right now.
Ooh, that's an interesting choice.
20 armor, 12 magic resist, and about 78 health from his rune page.
Nasus not caring at all what Cho'Gath does to him damage-wise, abusing his excessive life steal.
I really like to see if you're playing someone against Nasus that you pick someone more aggressive, because if you pick someone who doesn't do a lot of damage, someone who's not going to harass that much, you're just going to give Nasus that free farm. And he's got 72 stacks right now, 6 minutes in. That's not a good sign.
No, that's actually really good. Well, that's what we told you about Stevie J. Stevie J don't play.
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting these auto attacks off, but he's got that level 3 Vorpal spikes, and it's just not doing anything to Cho'Gath right now, or to Nasus right now.
Wukong trying to make something happen here, but again, he doesn't quite have any CC at this level. I'm not quite sure what he thinks he's gonna do here.
At the same time, we have Vi coming to bot lane. He gets spotted up by a ward, though.
Oh. 2 unsuccessful ganks. Now, if Wukong wants to make something happen here, he's gonna have to wait a long time. Let's see how Steven Jackson feels right here. Oh, he's moving out. Let's see. Wukong could potentially do some damage. Oh, Steven Jackson's in a bad spot. He gets silenced and eaten immediately. Wow, that level 6. So good.
Excellent feast there.
Yeah, well done. Well done. But again, as it's often said, Nasus will rise. Not a lot you can do against a Nasus with his infinite scaling. All you can do is kind of augment his build, right? You can force him to not go completely tank and perhaps build a little bit of AP so he can do damage.
Yeah, but I mean, even despite that first blood, some things you don't like to see. Got Nasus teleport.
Yeah.
He's still 10 CS above this Cho'Gath right now, so
that's true.
He's still sitting pretty happy with that mountain of gold he's on.
Yep, so beauty. Let's see how we're doing bot lane farm-wise. Draven beating Corki early in farm, not a surprising turn of events. Both AD carries still have that oh-so-important first red pot. Health pot, rather.
Yeah, with a Thresh and Leona, I would have liked to see a lot more aggression come out of either side, really.
Yeah. It is interesting. Both teams content farming it up, and it makes sense for Cronk Juice. Because they're winning the Farm Fest. I'm kind of looking towards Thresh and Corki at level 6 to perhaps make a play. I think their level 16 fight, or level 6 fight is perhaps a little stronger if they're able to avoid the Leona ult.
Yeah, interesting enough, actually, I'm not sure if I'm seeing this correctly, but it looks like Draven only has 7... No, it looks like he's bugged, really. I can't really see how many... 18 stacks of his Q?
That doesn't make any sense. Let's see.
That's a very
it says
low
he has
number.
18 stacks. That's not good.
I think it's bugged or something, because I'm not seeing... It's not going up right now.
Huh. Yeah, weird.
I would have liked to see that number, because that's... Draven's first kill is very important because it's a lot of gold, and that's what caused him to snowball so well.
Raiden Wing really wants to dive this Kale, but is fully aware of how her ultimate works. If they're gonna make something happen here, it has to be on point. It has to
Kale
be.
summoners are down, but she does have that ult.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here he comes.
Comes
Salt
in.
battery comes
ult
out.
down. Kale's able to ult before being burst down. She's gonna try to survive on the tower and goes down to Raiden Wing. Excellent tower dive.
Very good juggling right there. Oriana taking quite a few tower shots before Raiden Wing taking any. So
Wukong coming around top, gonna try to make something happen. Perhaps catch Cronk juice out.
here comes Wukong from the
Here
back.
he goes. Goes in, gets vault breaker, and it's gonna have to retreat. Almost goes down to Oriana. Great plays by Raiden Wing and GG Cronk. And actually, you know, we missed out on what I assume was an awesome, intense gank bot lane that actually ended up killing Leona. Did you get to see that at all?
No, I did not. I was busy watching that mid lane. That's unfortunate.
We could rewind, but you know what? Then we'll miss the heart-pounding action that's taking place right now.
So I'm being told from Calvini that the number from Draven is actually in the hundreds. So
Wow!
instead of 18, it was 180, and it only goes up. So right now it's at about 200-ish.
That is awesome. Well done, Draven.
That number makes a lot more sense there.
Yeah,
Here comes
absolutely.
Wukong from the back. He's
Raiden
gonna try and
Wing
steal this.
locked in a fight
Both
to
are
the death.
foregoing the blue buff.
Raiden Wing might actually go down here if... Oh, Raiden Wing! Oh, Raiden Wing. Great warding by, what's the name of that? The guy.
Extreme Pylo.
Max level herb. Stone Temple Pilots. Good job, Stone Temple Pilots. Especially Wukong. This Wukong's doing freaking work. Great plays coming from him.
Yeah, I mean, even though he's slightly behind, he's not showing any, signs of aggression. You know, he just gets that Spirit of the Elder Lizard, but now he's just using that money. He just got just the snowball over the head and picks up that extra longsword.
For sure, and that's something you don't want on a jungler. You do not want a jungler with 2 early kills. He's gonna spread that love across every lane. You know, you get a fed top lane, fine. Focus on top lane. It's gonna hurt, you know. But with a jungler is just gonna spread it all over the map, make everybody else better.
Yeah, and we got both junglers actually converging around the bot lane here.
This could be an epic
Just
fight.
stand aside.
Leona, Zenith Blade's in, ult, Thresh, Wukong gets a great ult off on Draven and Vi. Health getting low. Draven's trying just desperately to get out. Goes down. It does not look good. It is over. Is this a triple? It is a triple kill for Corki.
Wow, that was amazing. I have to say that Corky positioning was quite fantastic. You know, it may look like he was going, diving in and just in the middle of danger, but he actually was able to position himself in a way just to get that Draven kill and able to move it into the side. That way he would not take too much more extra damage and allowing Thresh and Wukong just to take some extra hits for them.
I have always said that Valkyrie is an offensive ability. And, you know, it's proven to work.
Yeah, we were worried about that, that last minute acquisition of Bossy, very last minute sub. They've never played with him before. 0 bot lane synergy, but he's proven his worth right now. Maybe he deserves a starting spot in this team with that triple kill.
For sure. Now, you gotta be a little nervous here, being down 1-6, being down about 2k gold at 12 minutes if you're Cronk. You know what I mean? No.
Yeah, Cronk Juice might have to start worrying here. I mean, they have a very, very good late game team with that Nasus and that Oriana Vi combo, but you gotta really wonder if they're gonna make it to that late game.
Whoa. Nasus' siphoning strike is at 240 at 13 minutes. That's free farm Nasus. That is going to crush anyone that isn't Cho'Gath later in this game.
That is some scary numbers right there. Thresh just missing in the bot lane.
Both junglers can tend to kind of just clear things out, maybe pick up buffs uncontested for the first time in a long time. Wukong.
Cronk just really looking at that late game, I guess.
Ooh, look at the little poke by Wukong there. Really hurting GG Cronk. Another one of those, and I don't know if he's gonna make it through. There we go. Ult comes down. Vi ult, the flash, the barrier. Oh, he takes him down. Beautiful KO ult. Well played by both Kale and Wukong.
Very excellent play. You could see Wukong really just waiting it out. Just, he saw that Orianna and Vi were being very aggressive on that tower. They really wanted it. They saw he was low and possibly looking for a soon tower dive. But he knew that Kale was coming, so the moment he got near, he just initiated immediately. Assault and battery wasn't enough to keep him off of GG Cronk, and they just melt them.
For sure. And this is kind of how max level herb plays, right? They move around early, they pick up massive amounts of kills, and then they spend the next 20 minutes throwing the game until they figure out how to win the team fights and win the game. And my experience of watching these guys, that's how they do things. So let's see if they can perhaps put this one down early. Or force their early advantage, you know what I mean?
They've got a very strong mid-game team, so I could see them doing... If they really want to end this game early, they really should, because they can.
Yeah.
Kale's real big spike is that mid-game when she gets that Nashor's Tooth. And same goes for Corky when he gets that Trinity Force. There's going to be a huge power surge coming in pretty soon.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And,
Corky with a Sheen is not to be trifled with. I feel like Orianna's been getting destroyed by Kale. Every time I look over there, he's taking damage, and yet he's only down by 22 CS. That's not bad for how devastating Kale has been.
That's very difficult.
Leona goes
Orianna in the lane.
is able to stun Corky. Ult comes out from Draven. Corky is forced to retreat and watch as his support is melted into dust. Leona, not satisfied, is going to chase Corky. Goes under tower! Gets the barrier! And might die for it. Draven's Flash! Securing the kill. Great play from KY and Dr. Cox.
Excellent play down there. He went ham and he just knew his limits. And as I mentioned before, Draven really needs that extra gold. He got an extra 416 gold out of that kill on Thresh.
Madness.
And that's exactly what he needs to get back in this game.
You don't want to see that on Draven. That's going to be brutal. Now, I've heard it said that AD carries, and I guess I've experienced, that AD carries in Season 4 are wholly unable to carry games like they used to. So how do you think that's going to go?
You're cutting out a little bit for me, actually.
Am I?
Yeah.
No! I love you. Someone... Am I? Hi.
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit. I'm not sure if it's a Skype thing or something else.
We'll see what they say.
Alright, yeah, so there's some really, really good things coming out right now. Despite being behind, they're not giving up Cronk Juice. I really think, though, to get fully back in this game, they really need to start expanding their ward vision. They've recently started, and they put all these, wards down the bot lane jungle, but they really need to contain this, this extreme Pylo on his, on that Wukong.
For sure.
As you can see, he's got 304. That's 100% kill participation right now. Gotta fight.
Oh, Bullbreaker comes down, and that actually baits out the Kale ult. I'm not sure he needed to use that on a Wukong with almost half health.
Well, it's probably best to be safe. That's a lot of damage coming out of Vi.
Oh, G-Cross gotta be careful here. Oh, Kale not quite able to seal the deal. Wukong coming around. Nope, won't even need to dive. Kale able to finish off Orianna by herself. Vi comes in unaware of Wukong's awesome positioning. Here it comes. Oh, the damage. Oh, the ignite comes out. Kale is going for it. Not able to get the kill, but still forcing him to go back, and they'll probably take mid tower for that.
This Wukong Kale team is making, just big strides right now, as they're gonna take down this mid lane turret. But they know their limits exactly, and they know exactly when to go in, when to use their ultimate, and they're punishing this jungle mid lane right now.
Interesting decision by Raidenwing not to go back here.
Wukong going bot, but he's been spotted up by a ward.
Good vision control by Cronk Juice.
Yeah, this is exactly what they need to do, because they need to control this Wukong. He's getting way out of control, and if they don't have things properly warded, he's just going to run rampant all over them. He's going to run through another ward down here.
Wukong in position to make an awesome tower dive play. Let's see if Thresh can catch someone out. Oh, yeah, I see his blade. He's trying desperately to escape, able to take a Thresh Lantern out. Good job by Dr. Cox and KY to act as if they don't fully understand that Wukong is behind them and trying to get something for it.
We got 4 people in the bot lane, but Vi runs straight through 2 wards right there. They might be looking for a dragon play here, as
oh yeah,
Nasus does have his teleport bit up.
Rotating up, Kale content to push mid. Cho'Gath looks like he's going to take top lane. He is huge, by the way, absolutely monstrous.
Everyone's ultimate is up. Cho'Gath's gonna take that top tower.
Dragon has been secured.
Here comes the Assault and Battery.
Oh!
Excellent flash.
There's so much going on. I'm wholly unable to actually call what's going on here. Draven desperate to escape the Wukong. Let's see if he's able to burst him down before he can get... Oh, no. No, sir. That's a triple kill for Wukong. He's getting even bigger. I don't think the dragon was worth it. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say dragon was probably not worth that.
You know, maybe if they got 3 kills instead of losing 4 members, it might have been worth it.
Potentially.
But, I mean, you do have to think about that. N in the top lane did take down that tower.
That's true.
So that will be a tower and a dragon for 4 kills.
Now, once top lane is unleashed upon the rest of the players here, I'm interested to see how, you know, I mean, Cho'Gath is big, right? He's huge. But he does not bring the damage that Nasus brings, especially with 350 stacks at 20 minutes. So I still feel like Steven Jackson is going to contribute much more to a fight than Cho'Gath will. Kale able to steal a red buff.
Yeah, you know, I completely agree. This Nasus is just going to be huge. He's got 420 stacks right now.
How many? 420?
420.
420. Huh.
420 stacks on the very appropriate skin.
That's great.
However, you do have to remember that many people on the max level herb are very strong right now.
That's true.
You got that Tiamat coming out on Wukong. He's just building straight damage because he knows he can.
Cool.
Corki finished his Triforce. Kale finished his her Nash's Tooth. Nasus is ahead, but you have to also remember that a lot of people on max level Herbalism is also very ahead.
This is true. This is true. And you know what? Nasus is forced to farm in a rather dangerous position, right? He's not able to sit under his tower and leisurely farm. Kale coming down for a gank bot lane. Let's see. Slows Leona. Forced to settle for Leona. Doing some damage there. A surprising amount of damage, unless Thresh was able to flash. Just going to walk out of that one. Not bad, providing some pressure. Wukong might be a little out of position here. Rainwing not going to go for it.
Yeah, some interesting things to point out about this game is that actually on Cronk Juice, the Draven, Dr. Cox, and KY on Leona are actually ahead in gold. So bot lane wise, they're doing quite well for themselves. However, Cho'Gath, Wukong, and Kale are both winning their lanes by quite a bit actually. Cho'Gath not so much, but Wukong's ahead of at least another 2,500 gold.
Interest Keg in the bot jungle has been diffused. Neither team deciding to go in.
Yep. Oriana's gonna pick up that blue buff, gonna be happy with that, but Purple team is really just pressuring these objectives right now. You know, not giving them any room to breathe.
And they're actually doing a much better job than they did in their last several games at rotating effectively and pushing their early advantage. I really feel like they're actually better at responding to the situation.
Yeah, and they're gonna take down this mid lane tower.
There's
no one's here to respond.
Nothing that can be done about that. Yeah, they're just gonna go through the jungle's already been completely cleared out. They can't punish them anymore.
Yeah, this jungle lane, Wukong is really showing well.
I predict a Wukong ban next game.
What's that?
I predict a Wukong ban next game.
He'd be a very smart ban. You know, Rainwing does love that Vi, but he's really not showing up as much compared to this Wukong.
He made some plays early, which were pretty effective, but not able to match the absolute dominance of that Wukong. So
yeah, that early game damage is really insane, and you know Wukong only scales more as he gets stronger.
Definitely. So you said Nash's Tooth is the big spike for Kale. So from here on out, you know her advantage is going to seem less impactful. Is that correct?
No, her damage is just going to even higher actually, because as she levels up, her intervention cooldown is just going to get shorter and shorter. I mean, at the moment it's only a minute right now, and with that Lich Bane, after those Q and W combinations are just going to hurt.
Oof. El Pain de Train.
And by W I meant with E, so...
Yeah, of course. It looks like they're going to try to make a play on this mid-turret. Orianna might be smart to just let him have it.
No one is in position to really. Cronk is just getting out-positioned very badly.
No, yeah,
they got
definitely.
That bot
lane for no... I mean, they were able to take an outer turret, but that is no trade for an inhibitor. Let's see if Raidenwing tries to make a play here. It is... He's going to go in. Bolt Breaker comes out. Ults on Kale. A very questionable initiation from Raidenwing in that situation.
Wow.
Draven desperate to do some damage. Leona ult comes out, saves him. Red Slash Flay takes a lot of damage. And that actually went better than I thought it would. A 2-for-1. Not a great idea, but, you know, better than I thought.
Yeah, you know, it's some really unfortunate because Cronk Juice is playing individually very well, but they seem to be lacking some communication that they really need.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. Yeah, and am I mistaken in thinking that M is actually their AD carry usually? Let's see. Was it Draven that picked up the kill
On Wukong?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I still cutting out? Is that an issue?
I just took a look actually. With that shutdown bonus and his Q, his passive, he got a good 780 gold out of that kill.
Ooh.
So, you know, he is now actually very far in the lead, and with 10k max gold. And, you know, they really gotta look to Dr. Cox to carry.
Wukong comes in, gets exhausted, gets Kale ulted, is barely gonna be able to make it out, not able to contest the dragon. Flash comes up from Kale, Leona ult, Vi comes in with an ult, Kale is in trouble, oh! Leona misses the Zenith Blade, allowing Kale to escape. They're still able to pick up Dragon. Teleport is down, however. Corki, Valkyrieing out, barely able to survive and barring some sort of amazing flash play here. I think they're going to be able to take that mid turret, actually, as well.
Yeah,
nope.
You know,
nope.
Max Level Herbalism went off to a great start. They had that inhibitor down. They've got lots of towers, but they got to start thinking about ending this soon.
Oh,
this gold lead they have is collapsing fast, and both Draven and Nasus are getting very large.
This is true. Corki was picking up red buff over there. Nasus trying to get the Great White Light. Cho'Gath wholly unaware that he's getting the Great White Light. Nasus feeling the presence of Cho'Gath. He's gonna just back
We got a Baron attempt starting, and Cronk has no vision on this whatsoever. They have no idea this is going down.
Nope, this is a free Baron. That's a misplayed here. That's I mean, and let's be honest here, at this point, if they knew what was happening...
You know, I really would like to see N tanking this Baron rather than the really squishy...
Steven Jackson potentially caught out here, gets knocked up, gets initiated on. Leona ult trying to save him. Oh, wow. Great damage coming down from
Steven Jackson's still alive.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing. I didn't think it would go that well. Well done. Let's see if they can escape or perhaps turn this. Draven going dangerously low. Orianna's slow, perhaps saving lives in this situation. And I don't think there's any way they can capitalize on this, actually. That was a great counterplay by Cronk Juice.
You know, I feel like there's a lot of mistakes made on Max Level Herbalism in that last fight. If you actually watched during the Baron fight, Wukong was tanking that Baron. Now, Wukong, he only has 1,700 health, versus he's got Cho'Gath with 3,300 health.
Yeah.
You really want that tanky guy tanking. You don't want the guy built full damage to be tanking a Baron, because that stuff hurts.
Yeah, that'll cost your life, as it did in that situation. Great Leona ult's actually coming out here. I'm actually fairly impressed.
Yeah, and so that was not good for them at all, because...
Orianna rotating up. Steven Jackson going hard here. Cho'Gath showing up. Kale ult and ignites Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson able to make it out without dying. And that's still a win for, well, kind of a push here, right? You trade a Kale ult for an ignite.
You know, I'm actually seeing a lot of things starting to wave over down towards Cronk Juice's favor here. Not only just there's past fights, but, you know, just small things like items. As you can see, Draven does have that last Whisper to start shredding through Cho'Gath. Corki doesn't have that armor shred yet. You have Thresh, who opted to rush for the Sunfire Cape, and you have Leona with that utility, with Talisman Ascension. Thresh still only has an Ancient Coin, which at this point of the game is kind of a waste, because you're not going to get as much gold out of that as you would Talisman Ascension. You really want that gold bone. That
Vi comes in, ults Kale. Kale forced to ult. She's going to go down anyway, unless she's got a flash up. Goes down. Cho'Gath desperate to get away. I think Zenith Blade's going to be up soon enough, and he's going to have to go down. Thresh rotating. Corki and Wukong taking the opportunity to pick up mid inhibitor. They're still chasing Cho'Gath. Thresh lanterns away. Oh, man. They gave up mid inhib for nothing. Well, for 1 kill, I should say. I don't know if that's worth it.
You do not want to chase Cho'Gath.
Dr. Cox going in, really questionable position, forces flash, ult. Corki able to get out. Clone goes down to the ult, but the real Wukong slips away. Vi not letting them get away so easy, perhaps following them up. Finding the recently placed ward, able to take it.
See, Cronky's been playing really well. They've finally started to get some of the communication issues that they've been having down. You know, they got someone calling shots now. I can see that. But you still don't want to make those kind of calls that, you know, let's chase a 3.3k Cho'Gath around. I mean,
for sure.
He's got a Frozen Heart, he's got a Rod of Ages, he's got a Warden's Mail. He's not going to go down easy.
And I'd like to point out that, you know, the foresight for Corki and Wukong to go ahead and take mid inhib, and Thresh's understanding that it only takes one Thresh to get Cho'Gath out of that situation, right?
Yeah.
Very good understanding of exactly how much damage someone can do and someone can take.
You know, I think that's where Max Level Herb really shines, you know. Even though they get caught out in bad engages like that, they know how to rotate. They know exactly where everyone else needs to be. So they took advantage of that, you know. Even though there's a lost fight for them, they made it a one fight for them by taking that mid inhibitor.
Absolutely. And I'd like to point out that Nasus, despite his 550 stack, is not really going to get all that much stronger on his Q. The laning phase has ended. Free farm Nasus day is over. This is kind of the peak of his Q damage. Barring, of course, some sort of awesome offensive item, which I'm not sure fits well in the current situation.
Some small things I would like to see, though, is I really would like to see Max Level Herb with that huge advantage with them to buy more sweeping lenses. They still have all 5.
All 5 decide to go mid to clear the wave, while Max Level Herb smartly goes and takes bot lane. They're coming out to try to contest. Thresh, with an intelligent ward there, they're not going to be able to stop this, barring a YOLO initiation. Tower goes down.
Once again, getting out maneuvered.
They might be able to keep this rolling. Orianna is mid lane. Draven decides to go back. They decide to take what they can get and go ahead and take a dragon, pick up a red buff, maybe go back to their blue, take raids. This is kind of their game to lose at this point with their rotation.
Yeah, you know, I'd really like to see Vision taking a bigger point in this game. Because Purple Team, they've got a lot of control right now with this map. They've got a lot of towers down. They should really put those wards out just to, you know, show them that they have no vision there. And if they bought sweeping lenses, they could just deny any point of vision, you know, making them scared to even leave the base.
Yeah, that's interesting. They haven't really done much of that. Oh, we have 2 sweeping lenses coming down. Good call. But you're right. It does come strangely late, right? They've had that mid inhib down for a while, and it's, you know, 32 minutes in. The inhib has had time to die, respawn, and then die again, right? And they're just now getting the sweeping lenses.
You know, there's a lot of interesting things I've noticed in looking at a lot of games. Is in LCS in particular, Korean scene, any of these scenes, normally the team with the most sweeping lens is the one who wins the game. Because that just kind of shows their dominance, because they have that luxury to just deny vision rather than needing to, you know, if you have all that big money advantage, you can just buy wards, you can buy sight stones, and then you can, you know, just ward the map all over. Right. Vision deny, however, is expensive, because there's only one item for that.
That's true. That's true. With the removal of oracles, man, denial of vision becomes huge. Draven able to pick up a Guardian Angel, which is actually going to be of a massive import in these fights.
Yeah, unfortunately, Thresh still does not have the Talisman of Ascension. Not even the Nomad Medallion right now.
And he's still rolling around with that coin? Interesting decision.
You know, he's really losing out with that, because if you look at the Talisman of Ascension that Leona has, She's collected over 1,100 gold with that. With that ancient coin, she's only collected 200 gold in this 34 minutes of game.
That is a bad deal. Oh,
Looks like they're rotating for Baron again, but they haven't
Max
scored
Herb
this time.
looking for Baron. It's warded though, right? So that's a plus. But you know what? Mid inhibitor is up, so they actually are able to contest this. Although they're not quite gonna go for it. Perhaps trying to bait them to come and see. Let's see. Now they're not fooled for 1 second. They've got vision on that. Thresh coming in, perhaps gonna get a hook off. No. Kale, Vi grabbed, Vi ulting Kale immediately. Threshold comes out. Kale unable to ult before going down. Great positioning by Corky. Perhaps gonna pick up a couple more. Steven Jackson coming in, doing work on the Q. Let's see if Corky can barely make it out. Barrier comes out. Thresh hook on to Nasus. Corky lived. God. Corky barely going down. Oh, Steven Jackson desperate to make that fight good. Unable to do so. Wukong with full health pushing down mid lane. This might be GG.
And that looks like a game over right there.
Yeah. Whew. Man. Let's see. Although Raiden Wing's up in 8 seconds, perhaps able to slow down the onslaught. You know, for a second there, that fight looked good. For Cronk Juice, you know what I mean? They had Nasus doing work. They were unable to mop up that Corky as fast as they needed to make that fight viable. They were able to neutralize Kale's ult by bursting her faster than they were able to. I can attribute that to, despite Raiden Wing's propensity to get caught out, the instant ult on Kale perhaps surprised the team. And let's not forget that that Vi's ult is not simply a single target knockup, right? It's anyone in the vicinity and anyone around the person being targeted is going to experience some displacement. And I think that was huge in that fight.
It's still got to be very scary for Cronk Juice that they weren't able to win that fight, even though they managed to kill Kale. She was able to intervention anybody that fight. That's one very, very big ultimate that was not used that fight, and they still couldn't win it.
Now, Raiden Wing's team's got to make a decision here. They don't have the luxury anymore of contesting Baron. Their mid inhib is down. That lane is going to push. You can't sit around contesting Baron. You have to make a decision to fight, push, or you're going to lose some Nexus turrets.
Yeah, if they want to do this, they have to start Baron right now. They can't sit around. Their mid inhibitor is just going to be pushed. It's going to go to the Nexus, and it's just going to make it easier for them to finish it if they lose somebody. They can't dilly-dally like this.
They might be giving up Baron here. They're rolling back. Purple team still not making a decision on whether or not to go in. Unable to. Weird selection on the sweeping lens, deciding not to actually sweep Baron pit, but the bush adjacent to the Baron pit. I don't know why that was done.
And go for a Cronk take this Baron.
Here it is. Here comes the steal. I believe. Yes!
He gets it.
It's stolen by Raiden Wing. Well done. That is 300 gold plus an awesome buff.
At the same time, that is also 50 seconds. Their main initiator and tank is dead.
This is true.
At this point of the game, I'm not sure if that's worth it.
Huh? Could be.
Here comes max level Herb. They're just going to rush down this top lane tower. They might just be able to take it without him.
Leona and everybody.
They're just going to face tank it.
Yep. Absolutely able to do so. Kind of juggling here. Oriana trying to poke him down a bit. Not quite able to finish the tower as fast as they want. They're not juggling tower aggro very well. And actually forced to back off.
Yeah, if they can hold him off here, it'll definitely be a worth steal from Raiden Wing.
Corky deciding to go up and get blue
down.
buff rather than help these towers. They don't need him. Able to take inhibitor tower. Not quite able to take the inhibitor before Raiden Wing responds though.
You know, I'm actually really upset seeing Wukong that he decided to rush Ravenous Hydra, which is a good buy, I will say. But he never finished that Black Cleaver, which I think is a very strong item on Wukong.
No, that's true. That's true.
Because with that ultimate, it ticks off a Black Cleaver every 0.5 seconds. So that's a lot of armor shred just going on the entire team. You add that to the quirky Gatling gun, and that's just, that's a lot of armor just lost right there. So I really would have liked to see that Black Cleaver.
Interesting decision by... Oh! GG Cronk barely making it out before Thresh and Wukong come in and stop it. I don't quite understand why they all ran up mid lane at a Wukong they couldn't catch and then decided to just be. I don't know. Maybe desperate times call for desperate attempts at catches.
Yeah, and I think Max Level Herbalism is really just stalling this out way too long. They need to finish this game.
This is kind of what they do. They're known for doing this, right? They have this huge advantage, and yet... You think they're waiting out Baron buff before trying to fight here?
I mean, yeah, people on Cronk are just catching up right now. Nasus now has reached 610 stacks right now.
Jeez.
That is a lot of damage. That is about 3 Qs will kill a Corki.
Oh boy. The inexorable march of Nasus.
Yeah, and this isn't even counting base damage and the Iceborne Gauntlet.
Not a good deal. It is not a good deal.
Raven
at 316 farm. Very close to full build. Nasus going ham way up. Alone.
Cronk just needs to initiate right now. They've got that Nasus teleport. They've got Cho'Gath top lane. They need to make some plays.
They really should. Wholly unable
They're trying.
to do so. Raiden Wing Flash forces a Corki Flash, unable to get Battery and Assault on him. Is that the name of the skill? I don't know the name of the skill, Yuchin. What's
Assault Battery.
Assault Battery. There we go. Nasus making his way down. All 5 grouping mid. This could be a game-deciding fight here.
Yeah, fun fact about Vi, her E and her R are both actual crime names.
Ah, actual crimes.
Yeah, assault and battery and excessive force.
You're familiar with that, are you?
Interesting names for a police officer.
This is true. Piltover's finest.
Usually, when you see sweeping runs come out, they're kind of like Cronk Juice. The first ones you see are on the support and the jungler, but Wukong has actually opted not to buy a sweeping lens.
Interesting decision there, actually. I don't understand that. Huh. Nasus is content to continue farming his ridiculous
even all this ragging I've been doing on this Wukong, he's been playing exceptionally well.
Oh, right.
These are just little things I've been noticing from in comparisons to professional scenes. So
absolutely. And I don't know anything about this game, and I'm just saying stuff because it sounds like it should. Thresh not there, Nasus also not there. Nasus able to teleport in, though. I'm not sure Nasus teleport's gonna really help in this situation. I think the team would get insta-burst before Nasus can rotate back around. Leona out of position, and Vi out of position, forced to recall. They're gonna have to give up mid-inhib due to bad positioning.
Yeah, if they had a tower there, maybe the Nasus teleport could work, because then maybe you could draw 1 or 2 people there. But there's exposed inhibitors, so they don't even care if someone's pushing another tower. They can just take it. They have to initiate right here.
Oh, Nasus not caring, running right in. Their team is split. Kale ult comes down to avoid the burst. Corki just doing work on Leona. Oh, man. Draven able to just decimate Wukong. Doesn't matter, though. Everybody else is dead. Draven's Guardian Angel gun completely to waste, and this is game 1. Look at Thresh's BM right there. He stood and taunted under tower while still taking damage. I love this Corki. Great plays, Corki.
Excellent acquisition there. The last minute sub showing his true strength there. Max level herb doesn't need max level herb. They got Corki. They got moist schlong.
Great game. Great game. Good plays all around. It wasn't massive mistakes that brought Cronk Juice to its knees. It was solid play from max level herb, and those are the kind of games that are the most fun to watch.
Yeah, and it was really something. Something I have to comment for Cronk Juice is that their Leona was opting to actually engage with the Vi instead of choosing to peel. If you watch that last fight, you can actually see Draven is zoned back by Wukong for most of the fight, so that's a lot of huge damage. I mean, he still has the most gold in the game, and that's the most damage. If he's not getting those axes out, he's basically wasting time. You need to have that Leona there, standing with him, making sure he's safe so he can, get all that damage out there. If he's not doing any of that, then you're not going to win the game.
It's true. It's very true. Let's see. Someone needs to make the next game.
I actually have to restart my Skype real fast so I can figure out what's going on with this. So I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. And then there was one. All right, now that Yuchin's gone, we're doing stuff my way, okay? First of all, no pants. No pants for the rest of this cast, just so we're all clear, all right? Second new rule, okay? No backsass. No backsass for me, okay? Third rule, all right? I've got no other rules, but, okay. Oh, never mind, he's coming back. Hey, Yuchen, how's it going, man?
I'm back.
Good. This is good. We have a much better chance at winning the game with you on our team.
Yeah, before I join this next lobby, I'd like to point out a few numbers here from the post-game lobby here. Mainly the difference in damage between the junglers. Vi, with damage dealt to champions, only did 7,300 damage. Wukong, on the other hand, dealing about 20,000 damage to champions.
Wow, okay. That's a little bit of damage.
It's a rather big change there, yeah. So, it's kind of, Wukong, of course, has that ultimate, and that's a lot of damage. That's, 400, 500 damage per tick.
Ooh, El Pain de Train.
It's still, you could see that early game presence there. He really just was all over the place. He was not letting up at all. What's the name of the game, by the way? I can't find it.
Yeah, I can't find it either. What is the name of this game? I've got GG Cronk here. Perhaps he'll let me know what's going on. Oh, I made it in. I was able to make it in. The name of the game, boys, is GG Cronk's Game. The best name for a game in North America.
What's the password?
The password is, I don't know. What's the password, folks? Ducks. I'm gonna add N. He's good.
Game is full. Someone needs to leave that game.
Someone needs to leave the game. All right, hop on in.
Alrighty.
Oh no, now you can't hop on in. GG Cronk, go away. Then we invite you. Okay, now join. Quick. There you go. Now we good. Hop on into the spectating slot there, my friend.
Still loading there.
Oh, you're still loading there. Oh, we're suddenly from the Midwest.
Right now. That's weird.
Yeah, the Riot North American servers, let's be real here, have been sub-excellent for the last little while. Lot of issues, lot of downtime for rank Q, a lot of losses forgiven. Yeah, not great stuff. I'd like to say, though, that we have 26 people watching this stream, which has got to be some sort of record. I attribute this to the rules that I implemented when Yuchen was gone. Preston is Mia. Jack is at a project. I don't know what that means. N. If that is your real name. Let's talk about Preston, okay? He's always Mia. He's not seen often. Classic Preston, though. Certainly. Classic Preston.
It looks like Preston is their usual support player, Red Hazard 0.
How do you know this?
Jack is max level Earth.
Yuchen, you can't know everything. It makes me look bad. We need to have a discussion off the stream about how you know more about the game than I do, and you make me look silly. Okay, so when I ask you who Preston is, please say I don't know who that is. Who's Preston?
I think he's the lead singer of One Direction.
I didn't know that either. That's cool.
I don't think that's correct, actually. I think I can make that up on the spot.
Oh, see, he could have fooled me, buddy. So how we doing this?
I don't know.
We're
still missing two people here.
It's yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. We'll have to see. Hey, says N. We missing 2 players. What's it gonna go? Dr. Cox returns. Still looking for one more person. This is a draft mode game. I guess people are still trying to find the actual game.
Well, it is GG Cronk's game rather than a CJ versus Max Herb like it was last time.
Someone needs to unban Bumpy. This is unacceptable. Bumpy needs, someone make Bumpy a mod.
He is already a mod.
Is he? Good.
Someone banned a mod somehow. That's impressive.
That's amazing. That is amazing. All right, we have our teams ready. Yeah, dude. I'm interested to see how this game goes. It was very close in many ways.
I'm just trying to figure out how to unban people.
Ooh, that might be an important tool to understand. Ooh.
I just typed unban bomb.
All right, we are in Champ Select.
I don't have. Oh, I'm on my Wikipedia account. That's why.
Oh.
That would make lots of sense. Let's log into my actual account.
See, we got any bans yet? There's Bumpy. Someone banned. I'm gonna try to unban Bumpy right now. See, boom, unban Bumpy. I've unbanned Bumpy.
I've unbanned him.
Gotta love the bumps, dude. Alright, we got a Vi ban, we got a Cassidy ban, we got a Kale ban. These are all pretty good bans based on what we were seeing last game. Wukong ban, certainly something you should consider.
Wow, 3 champions from the last game banned already.
Gragas ban. Still refusing to allow GG Cronk that Cassidy or that Gragas.
Yeah, looks like Max Herb is pretty confident with their team.
Sweetly.
Opting with that Vi ban, though, and that's the only difference. But
Nidalee bans.
Nidalee ban.
Yeah, I guess someone on that team is good with the Nids. Or Rids. So,
well, if I remember, NGU Hate really destroyed 1v1 baseball with that Nidalee.
yeah, oh, man, 1v1 baseball. Whew. Didn't do so hot that game. Man.
No, there aren't very many good teams. There are a few good teams in this league, but 1v1 baseball isn't one of them.
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
Not until they show us something different.
They are the cursed gaming of this sport.
They're easily cursed gaming. But maybe someday they can be a Dignitas and than they actually are. First pick J4. I haven't seen this from Max Herb.
I wonder if that's going to be a Jarvan in the jungle or a Jarvan in the top lane.
Jarvan top lane, actually very strong if you rush some armor penetration. Able to just completely 100-0 champions in the mid to late game.
Yeah, Jarvan and Wukong are both champions with some of the strongest level 2s. He's got that EQ combo which instantly knocks you up, and that martial cadence, which is as a percentage of your max health. And that's just that's a devastating combo right there.
Devastating. We got Raiden Wing's comfort champion Elise. And we're doing KY Leona, who was actually very on point with his ults and Zenith Blades for the most part.
Looks like Justin wants us to do a Strife Key giveaway at the end of this series.
All right, we've got a Strife Key to give away. Yeah, we'll be asking you a question from the game we just saw. And if you're able to answer first and correctly, you will receive the Strife Key. Perhaps the rarest and most radiant of all keys. Interestingly, not picking up Corki. Going with Vayne and Alistar, which is a great synergizing combo. But they did so well in the late game with that Corki positioning that I don't know why they're going to go with the Vayne.
Looks like he's got something to prove here, and just
yeah.
They won that first game, so they're like, we're gonna show off that
yeah.
the other champions.
It's true. That's a very double lift-esque in many ways. Also, I'd like everyone to know that I have a delicious bag of chips here that I've decided not to eat because I have to speak, and no one wants to hear me eating chips. So if everyone could, perhaps upvote me on Reddit for doing so, or maybe sending me little cookies, that would be great. We got young Vladdy coming out from Steven Jackson, perhaps his best champ.
And we got a Lulu Mid coming out.
Lulu Mid is so good. I hate it. It's absolutely abysmal. I don't know what to do against it. I just get crushed every time I have to go against Lulu Mid. Sivir being hovered over by NG.
Lulu Mid has gotten just a lot of popularity, especially after playing in the Korean scene. I think a lot of it really has to do with not only does she have great AP ratios, but her Whimsy, her W, is actually scaled off of her W. So her targets will move faster with more AP.
We've got Twisted Fate and Yasuo. Is that a Yasuo jungle, or is he going to trade with N?
I think it's going to be a top lane and have that Jarvan in the jungle.
Whew, man, Yasuo, if played properly, is probably one of the most scary champions I've ever seen in my whole life.
It's a really good team, actually, because, Yasuo's got that very big ult range. If you hit an Alistar Pulverize or Jarvan EQ, you can have a Twisted Fate, just Destiny in, and you have Yasuo Last Breath, and all of a sudden the whole team is there.
So you often see this when a team loses their first game. It looks like Purple Team is selecting not for comp, but for comfort, right? They've got Vlad, they've got Varus, they've got Lulu. Perhaps not the most flashy champs, the most synergizy champs, but certainly something that they all feel comfortable doing.
Yeah, if I remember much from Dr. Cox from last season, he loves that Varus. That's just his go-to champion when he's not doing so well. So
fair enough.
It'll be interesting with the Leona, because Leona's known for very hard engages.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, certainly. It's what she does.
Yeah, but honestly, I think once again, I think this time actually you have to get the comp to Maxwell Herb.
Oh, really?
Not only you have Alistar here, and Alistar's only really shining in his lane when he's against Leona.
That's
he
true.
He has a headbutt, instantly disengage any fight immediately. So he's going to protect that Vayne very well.
And it's cool because he can kind of select who gets Jarvan ulted, right? Let's say Jarvan ults a group of people, maybe, the AD carry and someone else. Doesn't really want that person in the fight, Maybe Leona gets stuck in as well. You can just headbutt somebody out of there, right?
Yeah.
Deciding where the fight takes place, repositioning members of Cronk Juice. And that'll be kind of cool to see how he ends up using that.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of comfort champions coming out from Cronk Juice, but you see a lack of certain things that you need in your team. A frontline is one of them. You have Elise, very strong damage, but she's not known for having a lot of health.
No.
Your mid laner is Lulu, who can give some health, but she's not, quite tanky. She's a very big, versatile utility mid laner.
Absolutely.
Vladimir, once again, also very, very high damage. It's kind of just really all over the place.
Yeah.
A lot of comfort champions, but not a lot of champions you see, really working well together, really.
But let's be real here. That's kind of what we saw from Maxwell Herb last game, and they were still able to, make that a real big boy game, right? They didn't seem to have the comp to make it all happen, but they were still able to crush purple teams, or I guess they were blue teams.
Yeah.
Well thought out comp.
So I would like to point out, I was wrong before, and it is a Yasuo jungle after all.
Oh man.
Yeah, which is actually not a horrible idea, because he does have that jungle clear. Not maybe as good as some other champions like Elise, but with lanes like Alistar and Jarvan, you can instantly just pop in and Jarvan can EQ, Alistar hits a Pulverize, he can instantly be there to fight, and all of a sudden, it's a 3v2, 2v1.
And that's kind of what you have to rely on if you're playing a jungler without a lot of CC, right?
Yeah.
That the lanes you're ganking are able to hold them in place while you get in and do some damage. And that's what you got. So that's a well thought out thing. Good job.
Yeah, and so just looking around, at least some runes and masteries here, we actually have Alistar going through an incredibly ham build here. He's got starting off the game with 16 ability power.
Whew.
0 masteries in the defense mastery tree.
Are you kidding me?
0. He's 9-0-21.
Okay, is this your build, Ichin, the build you were telling me about?
Well, if he rushes that Deathfire Grasp and Witchbane, I'd like that.
It could be.
I'd love to see that.
That would be awesome. That would be so cool. That would be also, a bunch of BM, right?
Well, it's honestly, I find it very fun. Because, you Deathfire, Headbutt, Pulverize, and they just disappear.
That's true. They cease to exist. Let's see.
And there's anything I love doing as a support player, and that's making people disappear.
Fair enough. You're basically the Russian mafia. Oh, a lot more skins this game. Actually, no. Wait, yes? No? I think so. They've got 4 skin down there at Cronk Juice. Got the 4 skin going.
Yeah, so I think something really you want to look out here for this match is really going to be the importance of some of these comfort champions. Twisted Fate, always been a very strong champion, but he requires a lot of excellent positioning skills, a lot of knowing when to go and when to go out, because he doesn't have a really solid escape.
It's true.
So seeing how well he's going to move around is going to be real important. Seeing if GG Cronk can really stop him from, pushing and just...
Yeah, like a low-level Twisted Fate is really at a disadvantage against Lulu.
Yeah, Twisted Fate is known for just shoving lane as hard as he can and just going off and teleporting to a different lane. But Lulu, incredible amounts of wave clear with that glitter lance. So let's see if she can harass him and keep him in that mid lane.
And let's not forget she has the ability to disrupt his ult. She has the ability to follow where he ults to. She's got that movement speed buff, which is huge. And she has the opportunity to kind of try to mitigate some of what Twisted Fate does so well. Let's see who buys fast. Let's see if Cronk Juice is going to try to do another cheeky level 1 thing like they did last time.
Yeah. So just a small thing, just dropping a few tips here and there. If you're playing Elise, usually, like that, you want to instantly go into your Spider form, because in Spider form you'll have 10 extra move speed you didn't have in Human form. So if you want to get places like in this level 1, you would definitely want to use it right away.
This Varus skin is awesome. Look at this.
Which skin? Varus?
Varus' skin.
Yeah, it's a really cool skin.
Everyone will enjoy this who's watching the stream. Look at that. It's so cool. Alright.
Looks like Cronk is indeed going for something a little bit different. They're going down to the blue side tri-bush.
And this is interesting. I wonder if this is a red invade from blue team, or if it's simply a guarding stance, right?
No, it looks like they're going for an invade here.
Interesting.
Once again, Leona opting for that early Zenith Blade.
Like, I can think of very few champions that are as good level 1 as Alistar is. Selecting between Headbutt or Pulverize in a level 1 team fight can be devastating, so we'll see if they rotate here. It looks like they're probably going to have to take red uncontested. What I'm going to really look for is to see if blue team rotates up and takes their red buff, or
Looks like it.
Yeah, they are. Looks like they are. Good call. Very good call.
What I really like to see when teams do invades like this is, especially that Leona, she even bought that as her first spell ward. If for them to drop that spell ward, add that red buff, that way they know if their red buff is being taken or not.
That's true.
Versus, just going in blindly, having no idea where anybody is. It's risky.
Very risky.
If you're going to go for invades, it's always safe to buy, an early ward from support or maybe your top lane or something like that. Just warding behind yourself.
Raidwing opting to full clear, so he has a timer on it, which is stark contrast to the blue team, which decided to freeze the red buff rather than reset it.
Apparently your stream is bleep blooping, and it sounds like outer space.
Ah, bleep bloop blop bleep blop bloop. Don't know why. How doth I fix this?
I have no idea.
Well, let's see if it continues. If it's still going on, whoever contacted you should contact you again right now.
You should contact Comcast.
That's impossible. No one can contact Comcast. KY spamming that Leona fist bump I really appreciate that. That's some good stuff. Very 1v1 baseball-esque. Vlad getting actually surprisingly good damage off on J4.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Jarvan with that level 2 instantly engaging, because he's got that EQ.
TG Cronk being very aggressive, doing pretty good damage to Twisted Fate, who at early levels is really not all that spiffy. In fact, so unspiffy that he opted for a billion potions and boots, as opposed to the standard Doran's Ring start. Raiden Wing, a little deep down here, but he's going to be able to get away. Still hanging out, potentially looking for a catch. Not going to happen.
It looks like early game is really going to go towards this Cronk use, because they're really pushing down all 3 lanes. Jungler has no idea where to go.
That's true.
He also can't clear as fast, so he's not going to be able to come to the aid of these lanes very well. And, Jarvan, what makes him really strong in the top lane is the fact that his martial cadence, his passive, will deal 6% of their current health just on auto attack. But with Vladimir, excellent zoning. He's not being able to get those.
Raiden Wing coming down, potentially tower dive. There's a flash coming out, a wasted flash. He might go down. He does go down to Ignite. An executed Lulu is certainly not worth giving first blood and assist. Well played again by Raiden Wing.
That tower got first blood right there.
That's true.
Fortunately, he doesn't get the damage for it. That's an inequality right there.
That is lame sauce. One of the things I will point to is Vayne should get stomped early in this situation. Absolutely annihilated. Leona coming in, not going to get anything done, and that's just a taste of what Alistar can do to a Leona, right? Instantly popped up, no ability to stun. Alistar, a really good counter to Leona bot lane play right now.
Yeah, they really often this blue bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, they're both blue. Both have some sort of knockback, so they can really just farm safely, which is exactly what Vayne needs. She needs to, just farm up and just play safe.
Oh!
Excellent Q.
Great Zenith Blade. Spectacular Q from Alistar. It's going to be really hard to make any plays. It's going to be a farm fest, which actually bodes much better for Vayne than it does for Varus.
Yeah, Varus opting to level up that piercing arrow first, possibly going for the Genja Legolas build here.
Of course.
We'll have to see if he builds 5 more Doran's Blades after this.
Which would be something, right? That'd be rather impressive.
Don't worry, I saw in the LCS.
Sounds legit. Vlad absolutely destroying J4 top lane. This is not good.
As I mentioned, J4 does not have that, he's not able to get those attackers off, so he has to burn all of his mana. He's not exactly, he's very mana hungry. So having to use his mana just to CS, he's going to fall behind fast.
It's interesting that Steven Jackson, unsurprisingly, is able to dominate so fully early. Unfortunately, they were unable to actually make that count last game. We'll see if maybe a fed Vlad can have more of an impact than a fed Nasus.
Yeah, Steven Jackson just really bringing it to him.
Steven gonna
no line of defense that can hold him back right now.
No, nothing can hold him back. Yasuo doing a little bit of damage to GG Cronk mid lane, just a little love tap reminding him that he exists.
Yeah. Twisted Fate, actually not getting a single level in the stack deck so far. Opting just to go for this, pick a card and wild cards.
I gotta say though, I'm very disappointed that I haven't seen an offensive Alistar flash pulverize headbutt. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, once again, both these bot lanes playing very safely. Not opting to go for anything special here.
Here's hoping. Potentially something amazing will happen. Alistar headbutting for no
Here comes
apparent
Twisted Fate.
reason.
He's looking to try maybe take down Raiden Wing here, but he got spotted up by a ward.
Raiden Wing able to pick up the red buff though. And that's the beauty of having a timer on it, right? Blue Team's juggler has no idea when red buff's going to be up because he decided not to clear it. So maybe we'll see if Raiden Wing's also able to grab his red. Should be pretty big.
It's a very interesting choice to opt for, a Yasuo jungle.
We got Twisted Fate ult coming down bot lane. A gold card, interestingly, comes down on Varus rather than a Leona that was out of position. That is a wasted ult. Alistar taking some damage under tower, perhaps getting caught out here. Rainwing comes in, gets exhausted. Leona comes down, unable to stun. Yasuo comes out. GG Cronk's bot lane. This is a 4-on-4 bot lane. Abilities going down. They're resetting. They're on cooldown. They're thinking about going back in. We'll see how this goes.
That was some really unfortunate play by both teams. Twisted Fate really needed to throw that gold card onto that Leona rather than Varus, because the team had no chance of catching that Varus.
Yeah.
At the same time, unfortunately, at point-blank range, Elise missed that cocoon and hit a minion, which kind of forego that Alistar kill that they had secured right there.
It's true. It's true.
So both teams making some very critical mistakes.
But both teams having great rotation. They both responded very well to that situation, right? They were able to be in position to miss their opportunities, right? So, not too bad.
Yeah, and, I really like how Cronk is taking advantage of this Yasuo jungle. Yasuo is not a very strong early-game jungle.
For sure.
His sweeping blade only hits each target once every, 10 seconds, I believe.
Rainwing coming in, doing a little bit of damage, backing off.
His Q, sure does a lot of damage, but, he just does not have the kind of clear he needs in comparison to someone like Elise.
This is true.
That is why he's going to fall behind, and that is why he's susceptible to taking these, early losses in the jungle.
Sweetly.
I mean, even in the jungle, he's been taking down pretty low. That's not what you want to see. He doesn't have the sustain right now.
Let's see.
I'm really confused as to why they first picked a Jarvan. It's very interesting to pick top lane first, and certainly one that's not very highly contested. I understand if it's maybe Mundo or Siobhan or something like that, but
you'd think
it's Jarvan top lane. You just kind of open yourself up to saying, pick any ranged champion, it's going in.
Oh, Yasuo comes in. Great job. Great synergy there. Flash comes out. Ignited Vlad sprints away. Yasuo pursuing. Is he going to go into tower? No. What's Vlad's ult called?
Sanguine Hemoflake.
Hemoflame comes down. Not able to do a lot of damage. Not at this level. Yasuo gets out. Having burned his flash, but wasted his own ignite.
You can really see the veteran play from the Steven Jackson Vladimir. Because that entire time, he didn't pop the Sanguine Blade pool once. He had that up the entire time, and he's like, I don't need it. I don't need to be vulnerable. I know I'm going to get away from this. He knows exactly how much he can take and how much he can deal.
He's a smart man. Smart man.
Very smart man. Now he's just going to lifesteal his way back up, because he's got that X-Tech revolver.
Ooh. Yeah, and you know what? He's up by 32 CS, and it's only going to widen. He's starting to do some real damage to that J4. J4 opting to go damage rather than build a little more health. That's an interesting choice. We'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah, it appears he's going to try and rush that Hex Drinker. And, I think he also really needs to camp that top lane if he wants to get Jarvan in this, because he's just burning all of his mana, and it's not doing much for him.
Wow, Varus' Q is really starting to do some damage on Vayne. Is that right? No, J4 hadn't gone back. Is that correct? Okay. Because that would be really bad. How do I still sound like outer space? Has there been any confirmation?
I'm not sure. That'll be a question for the chat here.
Bleep bloop blop. I am outer space. Bleep bloop. Dragon getting taken down by purple team. They're starting to look at that. There's no vision on that. They did see Lulu come in with that pink ward.
We talked about this earlier in the LCS, how that is a bush that no one wants to enter.
No.
And, therefore it is a fantastic place to put a pink ward.
People won't check it very often. Purple team has taken a lot of damage from Dragon, and they're just going to continue to get poked down. They need to make a decision either to go in or get out. Yasuo smartly blocking it. Oh. Gold card picked up. Varus trying to poke him down. Leona's very low. J4 going in. Perhaps not able to get anything. Forcing Leona flash and a Lulu ult. Rainwing also has to flash. Gets out very low.
I think it's a very good play made by Cronk right there. Despite taking a lot of damage from Dragon, they managed to get away. And there's a lot of hesitance on the max level Herbalism.
Mm-hmm.
He should have gone in on that fight immediately.
Oh, certainly.
Jarvan EQ. Now they're just going to lose a lot of damage to the tower from Vladimir. And, if they had gone into that fight, they could have easily won. They could have taken down Lulu, they could have taken down Elise.
Both teams much too hesitant in that situation. You either have to get the dragon or back off. You either have to fight or leave, right? And you end up wasting your summoner spells, wasting your time, ultimately, both sides.
Yes, and that's where having a key shot caller comes into play. Because now that person's yelling to just go in. And that's when you need those kind of knockups for Yasuo to really put that ultimate to use.
Certainly. Vlad doing some serious damage to J4. Things not working out as well as he had hoped.
He's got that early Will of the Ancients. He's a solid 700 gold ahead of this Jarvan. He's just taking it to him right now. Jarvan's got no response. Roaming was the correct option. If only they'd gone in on that earlier.
Yasuo pinging top. We'll see. Yasuo waiting in the tri-bush, looking for a potential dive.
Jarvan does not have his ult.
TF teleporting top, unable to get the gold card down. Sanguine Pool, Ghost activated. Vlad trying to get out. The dash from Yasuo, getting stunned under tower, able to get out. Wow, Vlad barely making it out of there. At least coming up to just hold on to the tower. Great ult from Twisted Fate. An exceptional Sanguine Pool from Vlad. Really close.
That is just some veteran play right there. He knows that champion. He loves that champion.
Young Vladdy.
He's got that Bloodlord swag.
Bloodlord swag. Whew. Man, oh man. This game, while there hasn't been as many kills, is certainly more exciting, right? Everybody's playing very solidly, mechanically. Everyone aware of what's going on. It's a great game.
I would just like to point out that both 80 carries and Leona have not gone past this game so far. It's 15 minutes in the game. Varus is sitting on 3.6k gold. Vayne is sitting on almost 4,000 gold. Leona with almost 2,000 gold. A lot of unspent gold right now.
That's a lot of gold. Ooh.
Yeah, they really need to go buy because they can't stay in lane with a Doran's shield and Doran's blade all the whole time. If they want to get that advantage, they need to go back, buy some bloodthirsters, buy some. They're way past the gold margin they needed.
Absolutely, and it's going to be interesting to see what items Vayne in particular buys. Is she going to go double lift stat and grab the BF sword, or is she going to play dual standard, right, and grab what she needs for a Bork? We'll have to see.
At this point, she can full out buy a Bork or a bloodthirster.
That is so awesome. That is devastating. Vlad absolutely punishing J4 whenever he goes and gets the last hit. He's taking several hundred damage. It's not a good deal.
Raiden coming by, just barely running into that ward.
Ooh.
He notices it though, and he's gonna back off. We have both junglers roaming around near the bot lane area. We have Raiden actually opting for a little bit more of a tank route. He's got the Ancient Golem. Versus Yasuo with that Berserk Breeze and the Spirit of the
Here comes the initiation. Oh! The Condemn! Out of range. The missed Varus ult. The pop-up. The Leona ult. Alistar headbutting Varus almost to safety. Yasuo coming up to clean this up. Lulu coming down to try to ult Lulu. Lulu able to survive. Oh! Alistar ult comes down. Is that going to be enough to save him? No. Raiden Wing comes in. Cleans him up. Varus is now an animal. Gets decimated. TF comes in. Get snared. This is not good. Totally dead. Triple kill for Raiden Wing.
I feel like a lot of this fight really went wrong when Vayne did not go back and buy. I mean, same could be said for Varus, but that's 4,000 gold she's sitting on. I mean, at this point, she's only got 180 attack damage. So that's just nowhere near enough where you want to be in lane if you want to duel. If you want to make these fights, you need to have those weapons, you need to have those damage.
And it's Vayne in particular, right? To really get the full benefit of Vayne's kit, you have to have a lot of attack speed. That's why...
She's out of position here.
Oh, that is an instant death. Very questionable decision on Vayne, but, she gets the opportunity to go and buy, right?
Yeah, faster way back, I guess.
Now, this is
4 kills now on Raiden Wing.
a much more solid game being played by... What are these guys? Cronk Juice. I keep calling them Raiden Wings team. They're Raiden Wings team in my book.
That's Gavin's team, actually, though, I believe.
Bartle Shark's team? Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, see, as you can see, she went back. She just full on bought. She Berserk Greaves and a Blade of the Ruin King.
See, all right, now you're really going to see Vayne come alive, right? Any Vayne player knows that you need attack speed in order to really do what you need to get done. And more so than on any other AD carry, in my opinion.
She's all about, being able to maneuver around. And, you can't do that with, no boots and no damage attack speed, so...
Well, and the thing is, TF ult coming down top, trying to get Vlad again. The pop-up, the Yasuo ult, the Ignite. Let's see if he's able to sneak out of this one again. The flash, he may go. Oh! The flash Q from J4 securing the kill. Very close to getting out with Bloodlord's Flag. There's a fight bot lane. Alistar ult at full health. Interesting choice. Still able to pick it up. Vayne doing some serious damage. They might be able to kill her under tower. The flash comes out from Leona. There's another fight going on mid lane. Raidenwing coming in. A lot of damage from Lulu, but forced ult from Yasuo. This is absolutely insane. A lot of things just happened.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things just happened. Lulu punishing the Twisted Fate jump. She's going to take the tower now.
Alistar coming in.
Oh,
threatening here. This is a bad position. This is a gold card is down. Headbutt coming down. That's a kill for Alistar. Raidenwing might not make it out of here alive. In fact, he is going down. Double kill for Alistar.
That is 900 gold for Alistar right there.
Ooh, that just swung the game. Absolute insanity.
Yeah, that was amazing play there by Yasuo. I didn't even know you could wood wall Whimsy. And that just kind of saved their whole life and kind of saved the whole gank. And
absolutely.
Sure, they get the tower now, but now Maxwell Herbalism gets to respond and takes down the tower of their own.
It's true, still down by about 2.3k, but that is nowhere near where they were. I think they were down almost 4 or 5k gold before all that just happened. That was absolutely gnarly. Vayne coming down, perhaps looking to catch one of them out, although low health.
The important thing to note about this gold advantage, though, is who this gold advantage is on. Something I'm talking strictly cross juice here. Their Vladimir is ahead by 1.2k gold, and then their jungler is ahead by 1.1k gold, and they're getting some gold out on the right people actually, versus Maxwell Herbalism, who's they're only really ahead on their Alistar and their Vayne. So that's a lot to put on your bot lane.
It's true, and you know what? Honestly, if Vlad's able to continue baiting TF and continue baiting Yasuo top lane, that'll give Raidenwing an opportunity to really do work bot. They're going to have to give this tower up or die trying. Yep, Alistar gets snared. They're just going to take the tower contentedly. Lulu comes down. They might look to take red buff or continue moving. We'll have to see. Yasuo top lane. Vlad taking some serious damage. Sanguine Pool. Oh, ulted. No ghost, no flash. This looks like the end for Bloodlord Swag. Although with 2 top, Alistar taking a lot of damage, goes down. Condemned against the wall is Leona. That's not who you want to condemn. A lot of damage coming down on this. I don't know why they're backing up from 1 Twisted Fate when there's 2 top lane. Oh, it's a very questionable decision. Pushing this tower as fast as possible. Desperate. Have Vlad not die in vain. Lulu pursuing. Stun. Gold card coming out from TF. Ignite down. Vayne going in. Lulu ult still gets the stun. Varus picking up the kill on Vayne. And they get the tower. Great job.
That was an excellent bait there by Leona. I thought she was very out of position, but she was holding on to that ult until Vayne came back. And that just allowed for an easy pickup for Varus.
Well played. In a lot of respects. They're moving the gold league back up. J4 desperate to get anything out of his lane. Takes the tower. He's still down 55 CS. Satisfied to contribute, to his team in any way he possibly can at this point.
I'm seeing this once again, especially in the supports here. KY getting that early sightstone, that early Paladin of Ascension, and it offers a lot of teamfight utility. Being able to run away or initiate.
Oh yeah.
Versus Bill, sorry. Once again, rushing tank items and just holding on to that ancient coin rather than wanting that extra gold. And,
yeah, that's a really interesting decision.
Yeah, and so it's kind of unfortunate because he got 2 shutdowns, Alistar did, and he's still behind 500 gold right now because of that. He's only looted 150 gold from his ancient coin. He's really gonna fall behind from that.
Absolutely. Not great decision making there.
I would like to see at least, an evolved into Nomad's Medallion, because that increases your gold gain by a lot.
This is true. I would assume, not being a support player, that would be one of the first items you want to kind of upgrade, right?
Yeah, and also one thing I'd like to know for supports, normally when you pick up that sight stone, that's almost immediately when you want to sell your totem and you want to buy a sweeping lens, because you have that sight stone, you have 5 charges, it's gonna take down all 3 wards.
Alistar forced to ult there. Questionably so. Perhaps he was expecting more damage to come down than actually was delivered. That's a free dragon for purple team.
Yeah. But, essentially you already have the maximum wards you can place with 1 item, so what point do you need a sweeping lens for? Or, sorry, a warding totem for?
Yeah.
You'd rather, allocate that spot for a sweeping lens, deny vision, something you don't have.
Oh, we discussed this last game. That's like a very key element. Speed buff on Rainwing. Rainwing gets knocked up, ulted, and he might go down. Lulu counter ults. Yasuo's still in hot pursuit. TF ults. Comes down with a gold card, lands it on Lulu. Lulu goes down. Rainwing able to escape, barely. Stops to ward, interestingly enough. J4 really wants it. Ults on Rainwing, gets the kill. Good job, TF.
Yeah, Maximum Herbalism really showing their global presence here. That Destiny is really showing up big. He's just all over the place, and he's making these kills happen.
Absolutely. Now we kind of see a little switch here, right? The little over pursuit from Rainwing in that situation, the damage that Yasuo is now able to deal, kind of turning things around for max level Herb.
Yeah, unfortunately, Elise, she's very strong with money, but she doesn't need money necessarily. She does a lot of strong damage just from base stats.
Mm-hmm.
Her human form Q and her spider form Q, they're all % health. So she doesn't exactly need extra items for that. Versus, money that goes on to like someone like TF or like Vayne, that they can really use those items. That's what really makes those champions right there.
Absolutely. I can think of no more item-dependent champion than Vayne. You really need that attack speed and, of course, damage. But the mobility on Vayne is huge. More attack speed equals more Qs equals more damage.
Indeed. Alistar going with a pretty interesting skilling order here. Not maxing any skill in particular right now.
Ooh, looking for a catch here. Purple team might get it, and Alistar comes in, gets stunned, ults, pops people up, headbutts Lulu out. He might be able to just walk through this one. Elise comes down, trying to do some damage. Flash here. That'll look good. Man, with the exhaust. They barely bring him down. They spend a lot.
There's the Paladin of Ascension coming into hand.
Absolutely.
Allows him to pick up that kill, and that allows Alistar not to get away.
And this allows Vladimir the opportunity to kind of split bot lane, keep things pushed out and improve upon his gold lead. Yasuo's pushing mid. Some pings coming down. J4 goes in on Varus. The damage being pushed back by Leona. An ult coming down. Really questionable ult there. Leona does her job, though. Keeps the damage away. Yasuo flash goes in on Ravenwing. Puts up a wall between his team and Ravenwing. Ravenwing just taking damage to the face. An ult comes down from Varus. Connects. Instantly killed. Good plays.
That was some excellent management right there by Cronk. They saw that wind wall come down, so they repositioned themselves out of the way before they started using their Whimsy, before Dr. Cox used that Chain of Corruption.
It's perfect.
Because of that, they were able to win that fight. And, they didn't even have to blow that Wild Growth. It's very huge, because that's a lot of health that they didn't even win that fight with. They're really starting to show off their power now.
Yeah. Let's see. Wow, that's a bigger gold lead than I thought they'd have on just a 1 tower, 1 kill advantage.
You do also have to remember the dragons and the CS difference.
This is true.
Now 100 gold ahead, or 100 farm ahead of Jarvan.
100 CS. That is absolutely devastating.
Yeah. So despite Jarvan having 2 kills and assists and one less death, he's still behind at least 2,000 gold.
That's absolutely brutal. Wow.
That's just some key things to know. Even if you're not winning your lane in turn of kills or towers, if you're CSing well, you can always get back in this game.
Absolutely. Lulu trying to take on the much vaunted blue buff all by her lonesome. Red buff aiding in that. Able to do so.
Lulu is really just, fantastic when it comes to utility. I mean, right now, with her level 3 Whimsy and her 370 ability power, she can speed an ally up to 68%.
That is quick. That's some quick
she can
movement.
Shield her allies for about, 500 damage. That's a lot of utility you can provide.
This is true. Vlad actually playing really far up against TF. Some pings going down mid lane. Maybe one of the teams is looking to make something happen. We'll have to see.
Yeah, so interesting.
Oh! Leona going in, misses her Vorpal sword. Oh! Gets ulted, misses her ult. Varus' ult connects, fortunately for the team. An expert wall keeps most of the damage away. Raiden Wing still alive. Varus at full health. Barriers and flashes for absolutely no reason. TF does what he can. Not quite enough to make anything happen. Be careful of this pursuit here. Not a good play. Varus needs to screw off in this situation. Vlad, though, doing some work bot lane. Trying to make things as good as possible by taking this tower. We'll have to see if he can make that happen.
The highlight of that fight was easily Dr. Cox. If you could see his positioning, Jarvan Ultimate actually would zone most of his own team off away from Varus. So Varus would just easily sit in the back, pop his flash when he needs to, and he would just...
TF coming for the gold card. Gold card expires. Able to just do some auto. He's got red buff. That'll slow him. That is a dead Steven Jackson. Good job on TF understanding that he can win that pursuit.
TF doing really well, but I think Max Level Herbalism is really underestimating the damage that Varus can put out and that Elise has in that execution. They really need to start figuring out who they want to focus down and not get caught out like that.
Absolutely. Fortunately, they're able to pick up a free dragon here.
Yeah. Their plan was to, throw TF down bot lane, and, the fight started having Destiny back up in the fight. Unfortunately, TF just could not out-push this power of this Vladimir right now.
TF...
that whole plan went to waste.
In a bit of a sticky situation here.
There's a Talisman of Ascension.
Oh, connects with the Zenith Blade regardless. He's got the stun up. This does not look good. Raiden Wing coming down to grab an assist. A random exhaust, completely wasted, but yet still used.
I would have really liked to see that kill, siphoned off towards Varus, actually. I mean, Elise doesn't need another kill. She has 7 kills. She doesn't need that.
Absolutely not, and certainly not wasting an exhaust. That was an absolute gratuitous amount of summoners used.
But regardless of that, Cronk is going to move down and they're going to try and take his open hitters.
I think they're going to be able to do it. They've got a lot of damage coming from Varus. They've got everybody in position that they need to be in position. They got the wave clear. Let's see if Yasuo can make it back, though. They might be able to make something happen. Here comes Alistar. He's got speed boots on. He's able to get close enough. There's the headbutt pulverize. There's the initiation. There's the Yasuo ult. Wild Growth comes down on Leona. Oh my goodness, this is absolute madness. Varus survives the fight, while Vayne does not. This is huge. That is a dead Alistar. Raiden Wing flash. Vlad comes in, trying to clean some stuff up. Let's see, Leona's a little low. The flash from Lulu comes in, the polymorph. The Vlad ultimate, is Vlad going to be able to do enough damage to take him down? I'm not sure he is. Interesting, though, they won the fight. They're not going to be able to take a lot from that, seeing as they already have the inhibitor down there and they don't have the minion wave to start working on the Nexus turrets.
Once again, that's a not good, they were really rushing the initiation there. I think Max Level Herbalism is starting to panic here a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did not defend their inhibitor, so why should you engage after it's gone? That's just kind of, a waste to engage. They were not ready for that. They hit on the wrong people. You had the Jarvan EQ and the Yasuo Last Breath coming out on Elise and Leona. That's not who you wanted on. I mean, Elise does a lot of damage, sure, but she has a lot of tank items.
Well, and the big thing is, Varus is surviving all these fights. He's only died twice. Vayne's going down.
Yeah, Varus is getting untouched right now. I mean, Yasuo decided to go after him later and almost killed him himself. But imagine if they put all their skills on him at the very start. That's a very different team fight right there.
It's interesting. You can tell things are going well when Lulu's wild growthing Leona in a fight, right? You'd assume that you're forced to wild growth the AD carry, the damage dealer, but that's not the case. Rainwing in a weird spot chooses to back off.
Looks like he's checking for that blue buff. Wasn't there. So it looks like Cronk is going to start centering their attention towards the Baron pit. However, Max Level Urban has that area very well warded, actually.
Vayne bought a red pot. She's looking to fight. That is desperation mode. Flash is up on Leona. Flash up. Oh! Little skirmish here, little skirmish here.
That is just some BM right there. He knew they were in there with that ward, and he just decided to walk up to them anyways.
That is some serious BM. Ooh, this is a great idea. They're pushing mid lane because they're so far out of position to actually contest it. Vlad's still top lane. Vlad deciding to B. Let's see if they're able to take this tower due to poor positioning. They're coming in. They're trying to initiate. Interestingly, they go for the TF by himself while giving up the tower. They're still able to get in there, do some damage. Leona ult comes down on Alistar, interestingly. Varus ult connects. Looks like Varus is actually going to go down. Alistar still alive. J4 alive. Yasuo comes in, doing an excessive amount of damage. This does not look good. Steven Jackson gonna die in style. He's gonna die in style. Winion's doing some work though. Don't discount them. Potentially taking down 2 Nexus turrets.
Yeah, they should keep pushing this. Why? Only Elise and Leon are up. They could do some damage to that next tower.
That was a potential win. I have no idea why they decided to pull up. Maybe to take a Baron. This is a Dignitas tier Baron. You know what I mean? This is like a potential game-throwing Baron. Rather than just pushing, winning the game, they're deciding to get the questionable Baron. And in doing so, have lost 2 Nexus turrets. Their Nexus is completely exposed. Raiden Wings comes down, unable to steal, but trying to do some damage. Raiden Wing getting destroyed. Leona just wants to survive. Gonna go down 2. This is a certain win. They should immediately push.
If both their inhibitors back up, they should push this to finish it.
We'll see if they decide to buy and then quickly push out.
Let me go back to that last team fight where Max Level Herb won that. The key thing to note here is that what Max Level Herb did is that they tried to cut him off. Unfortunately, what they did is that they had TF and Jarvan down near the mid-river area, while they had the rest of the 3 near the inhibitor. And they had hesitation as to which one to go for. And by choosing to go for the inhibitor, they left Varus wide open.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and then Vayne was in an excellent position. He managed to get in the back line. And then she just had free shots at Varus because he was cataclysm that had nowhere to go.
The real error there was, the hesitation. They ran at TF, who easily walked away and laughed as his team took down the free tower. And then everyone was able to position themselves for the fight, except for Varus.
Yeah, and because of that, Max Level Herb had time to just reposition. They know exactly what they needed to do. They were no longer caught in that state of panic and not sure what to do.
They need to capitalize on this now. They've got Baron buff. They've got mid inhib down. They've got, for the first time, a gold advantage in this game. They need to try to create a fight. They can't wait around like they usually do. I mean, it tends to work for no reason. They make all these terrible decisions and they still win games. It's amazing. They're just that good as a team in fights.
Playing that CLG strat right there.
CLG. Yasuo, they're going to rotate bot lane, completely uncontested. They're probably going to pick up that tower.
They need to make some plays here. Their Baron buff's almost half gone already.
Ooh. Here's some pushing, which is probably for the best.
Excellent time to do so. Vladimir's going top lane. He does not have a teleport, so this will be an excellent time to push down that inhibitor tower and possibly finish the game. TF is coming around the middle.
TF looking to flank a little bit. This is a 4v5 under tower should a fight break out. Leona goes in, questionably so. Immediately gets stunned, gets blown up. J4 on to Varus. Varus gets wild growth for no reason. Ooh! a lot of damage coming out, and in a bad spot, gets taken down. Are they going to be able to take down the inhibitor turret? Does not look like it. Vayne doing the best she can, taking down KY. No one decides to help him until it's far too late. Alistar flashing. Interesting series of events here. It could have been much better managed by both sides.
Yeah, the big key thing to note here, that max level herb missed, is unfortunately it was that Jarvan EQ. Jarvan needed to hit those EQs, because he went to that Varus, but he was just out of range to hit that. So because
Alistar
of that,
ult
Varus
force.
managed to kite back and just get away safely. He just took a lot of damage, but because of that, he also wasn't able to last breath him and had to last breath GG Cronk instead. So that wasn't, the punish they needed. And, they got a tower out of it, but unfortunately they're running out of time on their Baron buff. They lost one member, and the inhibitor's back up. All in all, that's, I'd say that's a pretty big win, actually, for Cronk Juice. They managed to stall out that Baron buff.
No, absolutely. They did a great job. They ended up not losing bot lane inhibitor. They lost the tower, which is unavoidable, but they definitely didn't lose the inhibitor. Pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how they decide to close this one out. It's interesting though. If they end up losing this game, they're gonna kick themselves for how many times they had the opportunity to win.
That's definitely the case. I mean, they've got a full farm, very full build. Sorry, not full build, but 5 item Vayne. At this point of the game, very powerful. She's got a Guardian Angel. She needs to group up mid so they can finish this game.
Absolutely.
But the longer they stall this out, the more chances they're giving Cronk Juice.
They're wandering aimlessly through the jungle. TF's going bot lane to farm, as if he needs more items. It's like a really weird thing. They could get caught out here. This is potentially devastating. Vayne gets flashed onto. Raiden Wing's able to get some damage down, misses the snare. Lulu comes in, Varus ult hits.
There's the last breath.
We're going to have to see how the damage shakes out. Another wild growth Lulu. TF able to get his stun down on Lulu. This does not look good for Cronk Juice. Varus getting picked up. This is an ace. An absolute wrecking. Let's see if she's able to secure the Penta. It looks like she's going to be able to get the Penta.
There's the pentakill.
And that is GG. That is 2-0 for Maximum Herbalism.
That was some excellent play there. I think a lot of this really had to do with, unfortunately, Cronk Juice is just a little too antsy. They're like, we got to end this game. We got to end this game. We can't let it go any longer. So they just very hastily, initiated that by having at least repel over the wall and go for cocoon. But unfortunately, by doing that, your team can't follow up on you fast enough. That's just like diving, very far in, and they just can't follow up on that. But
absolutely.
Yeah, Vayne was able to.
Why aren't they winning the game though? They could easily win the game instead of.
Looks like they're just gonna play this safe, and they're gonna be sassed with the 2 inhibitors and the one.
There's a as a caster. I'm supposed to be neutral, but I'm also supposed to give my opinion. That's dumb. That's like the dumbest thing I've seen in a billion years, that you wouldn't just win the game. Like, they've still, at this point, they only have 4 up. They just now got their full team up. With the damage they're dealing at this point, that was a win. That was an interesting call to not win the game there.
Yeah, and by doing so, they give Cronk Juice one more chance. Give him no last ditch attempts. Because Baron's gonna be up for 20 seconds, and that's a throw pit right there.
For
Anything
sure.
can go there. So it's gonna be I think what really needs to happen right now for Cronk Juice is they need to calm down, and they need to get their things in order. They need to make sure they get their combos correct, because Wild Growth has to hit everybody. They have to knock people up. And then Elise has to be patient and engage. Maybe even let Leon engage for them, and then focus on peeling that Varus. Because Varus has excellent positioning. He just needs to, make sure he gets. Oh, they're doing Baron.
They're doing Baron. They're gonna get Baron. Baron is
Alistar,
gone.
Excellent headbutt, knocking Raiden back.
Yep, and doesn't get punished much for it.
Back,
That is a dead Varus. Unless there's a Lulu or forced in that situation. Whew.
That's unfortunate, though. That's 52 seconds without that wild growth.
That's gonna be big.
That's 900 health right there.
Gonna be big. You know, I think I know what it is. It's Maximum Herb is not satisfied with a win. They want complete dominance. They want to absolutely take everything that Cronk Juice has and holds dear in their lives and hold it over their heads for a little while.
It's not about getting that win, it's about sending that message.
Exactly. It's not about winning. It's about sending a message. Interesting that they've got the wave clear to keep them at bay for now, but the super minions are pushing in other lanes. They're going to be forced to rotate back and give this inhibitor up.
They need to engage now. They can't wait any longer.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. This is going to be the slow loss. This is an inhibitor that's gone. Varus gets caught, gets wild growth again, and barely makes it out. Oh, that is a lot of damage coming down. Leona ult, doesn't matter. This is done. This is Dunskies. But you never know. Maximum Herb could decide to pull off again and maybe prolong the game a little longer. Good game, both sides. Absolute staggering comeback from Maximum Level Herb.
You know, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. Just one fight really turned that game around. You could just see the morale boost coming from Max Level Herb after they won that fight. And like, we can do this, and they just turned it around beautifully.
Absolutely.
They really need to protect that Varus. They really need to feed him more kills. I think both sides really didn't, I guess respect the Varus.
No. Gotta respect the Varus. Gotta protect the Varus.
I know. Even now, he has 17k gold. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of change. That's a lot of cheese.
He almost did the most damage in this game, just behind Twisted Fate. But like, if he had better protection during these fights, he might have been able to, have that significance he needed.
Absolutely. This was an exciting series of games. We saw, exactly what we expected, right? Some great team play from Max Level Herb. We also saw some solid team play in the second game from Team Cronk Juice, but not able to get the rotation down, to avoid getting picked off, and that ultimately cost them. But thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the club and watching these two talented teams, duke it out. I'm sure you'll be seeing both these teams later in the Splits playoff series.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yep.
Stay tuned for later. We got more matches for you tomorrow, or next week, sorry.